Hello and welcome to the first anime aesthetic video. For me, the best anime is very consistently engaged with the visual expressiveness of gestural movements, and surprisingly often, specifically, the depiction of hand movements. Now, in this post, we're going to be taking a look at a couple of scenes from the 2016 anime called Sound Euphonium or Hibike Euphonium. Now, the first I'm going to show you a set of stills that come late in this, actually the final episode of the series, and the thing I want to focus on in these stills is the hands. Now, what we're going to be looking at is a series of stills that illustrate the thoughts contained in a letter written to the main character's older sister. And the sequence actually illustrates a series of thoughts that are contained in the letter, which actually also recap some aspects of the series for the viewer. So as we scroll through them, we're going to note kind of how each image functions to convey a specific sort of emotion or idea, starting with this first shot where the younger sister is actually putting the letter to her sister in the mailbox. And so in a way, this kind of emphasizes the importance of the letter and also the personal connection from one sister to another. Now here, that same character, her fist is kind of clenching, and it's sort of portraying her resolve. And then in this next shot, it's a kind of celebratory gesture of welcoming to the girls in this next shot, who kind of she puts up her hands in this kind of, aw, shucks, all this applause for me, kind of humility. And then the actual applause itself, and a kind of a moment of clasping hands from overwhelming emotion. And then here there's a kind of a skit being performed. And so here the hands are kind of an entreaty to a beloved romantic partner. And then in a bit of a wider shot, there's this gesture of mutual entreaty between romantic partners. Then here there's a variety of gestures, all kind of denoting different aspects of group social engagement in a shared moment. And then here, the giving and receiving of a meaningful gift. Here, putting up a hand to cover a yawn, a kind of gesture of exhaustion. And then here, the engagement of hands in a kind of mugging for the camera. Now, let's take a look at the sequence itself. And we'll notice in this sequence that there are some additional hand gestures that I didn't grab stills of. Like, for example, this shot in the train where the two girls are sharing, looking at something on the phone. So here's that gesture of resolve. And the applause. And that overwhelming emotion. And the skit, and the social engagement bit, and the gift giving and receiving. And finally, the mugging for the camera. So what we're going to do now is, immediately following that sequence, there's another sequence. Overall, in this series, the depiction of hands is especially interesting because there are long sequences in which musical performance is animated with pretty meticulous attention to the details of the hand movements of the performers, as in this sequence, which contains frames of one such highly expressive musical performance. And so focus again here on the hands, which are all shown to be either holding instruments, doing fingerings on the keys of instruments, holding the trombone slide, drumming, fingering the valves of a trumpet. And just look at how detailed the hands are. I just find it amazing that there was such focus to detail like this. And so now we're going to go ahead and take a look at the sequence. And again, as in that other sequence, there are quite a number of images of hands that I actually didn't grab stills of. It's just sort of shot after shot after shot of hands doing stuff with these instruments. So in this way, a thematic link is created between the expressive potential of physical gestures in human interaction, as we saw in the first set of stills in the first sequence, and then the expressive potential of music as performed by those same people, what we just watched in the second sequence and set of stills. And all of this is made to happen specifically because of the potential of drawn animation to visualize with great precision this kind of specific detail, to say nothing of how incredibly difficult it is just to draw hands in the first place. So thank you for watching, and I hope you'll become a subscriber to the Anime Aesthetic.